ॐ निरञ्जनं नित्यमनन्तरूपं भक्तानुकम्पाधृतविग्रहं वै ईशावतारं परमेशमिड्यं तं रामकृष्णं शिरसा नमामः. Namaste everyone and welcome to our study of the Bhagavad Gita chapter 13. We are approaching the end of this particular chapter around verses 27-28. I hope you have been revising, thinking, and you have plenty of questions today. I should ask questions otherwise. So let us just get the screen back. All right. When we discussed verse 26, we did this particular drawing and all that. Apparently, we lost that recording. And so, whatever was discussed here in this particular drawing, I do not know. Would you like me to quickly give a little revision out of this before we go? Yes, no? Okay.
Yes, Swamiji.
Yes, Swamiji. Yes.
All right. Okay. So, okay. I will redraw this, but this time you are going to help me redraw this. Then I will know what the students are up to. Okay. If you don't call out, I'll call out you people. So, don't mind. Put your mics on, please. All mics on.
I'm not trying to be defensive, Swamiji, but I missed that class.
You missed the class, all right. You still can contribute. Hello, hello. Jyoti, Lata, Sudipta, Bhavna, everyone I can see whose mics are not on. All right. So, what was the verse? We'll all work together. Yavat sanjayate kinchit sattvam sthavar jangamam kshetra kshetrajna samyogat tad vidhi bharatarshabha. O sign of the Bharata dynasty, whatever object, yavat, sattvam, moving or not moving. Moving means jangamam, sthavar means non-moving. So in this world, I would say things are like moving cow, animal, trees, plants, mountain, they're not moving. Sum total is all existence. That comes into being, that means into manifestation. Things that we call things, right from the low world of Lord Brahma down to a post, a wooden post. Brahma sthambar paryantam. Brahma to stambha paryantam. 2 brackets. Everything is enclosed in there. That comes, know that to be from the association of Kshetra and Kshetrajna. So Kshetra, we understand, is the field. Right in the first 2 verses of the Bhagavad Gita, Shri Krishna defined what was Kshetra. What was there? Anyone?
The field.
Yeah, what is the field? What were the things in there? Mahabhutani ahankaro buddhi avyaktamevacha. You remember that particular verse? The 5 elements, the buddhi, avyakta, non-manifest, vikaramsha, gunansaiva, vidhi, prakriti, sambhavan. Anyway, all those things that are the 24 cosmic principles in the Sankhya philosophy we talked about. That is the field. And Kshetrajna is the consciousness, shining the light from the Supreme Being. When the two comes together, that combination is what produces the field, the object. It's a combination between Prakriti and Purusha that makes this world of appearance in front of us. On its own, individually, nothing will happen. And if you want the world to disappear, then you have to learn how to disentangle, separate the two. So we, in that particular drawing, we're trying to get an idea, a diagrammatic representation of what happens in the mind space when we see things. Normally, when we see a bird out in the forest, suppose sitting in the bush, we think the bird is there. Okay. Now, if somebody, the technology develops that somebody planted a electrical wire and connected it to your optic nerve, and then using a computer simulation created a bird that generated that electrical signal and sent that same signal to your brain. Would the brain be able to discern the difference between the actual bird on the tree and the one that is generated by the computer? Hey, I asked a question. What do you say?
The image will be there, Swamiji.
Yeah, so image is there, but of course you are seeing a bird in your mind, okay, an image, but is there a real bird out there? Can you differentiate whether it's a real bird on the tree or it's coming from the computer?
No.
If it's identical signal, if it is there. So really the reality that we assume could not be there. It could be an artificial intelligence or an illusion or something there. But only what is you are receiving is only signal, energy in the form of light. Sunlight fell on the bird, it bounced off, came to your eyes, then it was converted into an electrical signal in your optic nerve and all that, and that's what we see. So what we see in our mind space, we think is a reality, but it's not the reality. Okay, let me change this. Yeah. So in that drawing, I was trying to say, the light of consciousness comes from the Supreme, from the top. Let us say that is consciousness. That is Shet. I should not. So what's coming from the top? Kshetra or Kshetrajna?
Kshetragya.
Kshetrajna. Okay. So the now the Purusha. Okay. Okay. And where would be the Prakriti?
Prakriti will be in the middle.
In the middle.
Yeah.
Just because I write in the middle, you should not say in the middle. Come
no,
on.
because
Wait.
we remember from the picture, last picture.
No. I was misleading you. It's not in the middle. Where should it be?
Okay.
This is the mind. Between the two is the mind space. Okay, the mind space. So I take that out. Let us put the Prakriti below.
So this is mind space.
And so from outside, there's some signal that comes from the eyes, some through the ears, some through the nose, some through the ears, nose. What are the other two?
Taste
What?
and touch.
Yeah, okay, tongue and skin. These are 5 senses of,
Jnanendriya.
they are called Gyanendriyas, organs, instruments of knowledge, Gyanendriya. Okay, so 5 Gyanendriyas are feeding energy. Those energies are received by special devices that are built in the body, and they all convert it into some electrical signal that goes into the brain. Now, this is the starting point of the brain. So, suppose you are seeing a little bird. Okay, a bird you are seeing, and one little bird appears in the like my bird. Okay, there's a little bird in there has appeared in your mind's eye. How did that bird appear? Yavat sanjayate kinchit kshetra shadjagnyor. So whatever happens in the mind space is a result of the combination of kshetra and
Kshetragya.
kshetrajna. Okay, kshetra is coming. So this is the kshetra. Okay. And so suppose you are seeing a little bird and that is through the eye. So the eye goes sending out some light energy is going there, and from the other side the kshetra is also contributing something. So that is coming from there. And when the two meet, then that combination forms the bird. So long this light energy is coming there, that means the bird is still sitting out there. You're still seeing the bird. When the bird has disappeared, the Kshetrajna is still sitting there, but the Kshetra has disappeared. So the image in your mind has disappeared also. Does it make sense?
No.
Yep.
No? So there are two elements, let us say. This is the light that's coming from inside. What is that? The consciousness that is inside us all the time. But it's directed in a particular way, and that directed consciousness is called attention. You are putting your attention there, looking at, focusing on that. That is your contribution from inside. The contribution from outside is whatever is entering through the eyes. And when they enter and meet in your mind space, the two energies, because there are two energies, they combine together and then they form, in physics, if you want to say, they call it what's a standing wave. The two combine together and take a form. That form is what you call the bird. And other things that are happening, maybe the bird is chirping, so that another wave comes from the ears. You are hearing the chirping of the bird, and all those type of things are happening there. And this is how a perception happens in the mind space. If you turn your attention to something else, look at somewhere, then the image of the bird disappears from your mind space. So the two are necessary to combine and form what we call I'm seeing something. That thing that I'm seeing is really in our own mind space, but we think it's really out there. Like suppose you put, nowadays you got all these devices called that virtual reality device. Have you tried that stuff?
Yeah.
That so what, you are sitting and you are having this mountain trekking. I had that one, somebody showed me about the Himalayas. So you're feeling that you're climbing the mountain, there's snow everywhere, and if there's a cliff, you look there, you will feel like you're almost falling over, in your hands and behavior, everything is changing. But you are in your room only, but the reality is a virtual reality. Now what is the guarantee that this world that we are living is not a virtual reality? It is a virtual reality also, because when you go to sleep, it disappears for you, isn't it? When you come back, it reappears. So this thing is called asat. That means it is there temporarily, it's not permanent. Forms appear, forms disappear in the mind space. What is the permanent reality is this, is the sat, which is that, the reality of the pure consciousness. Everything outside is constantly changing. That's why it's called Jagat. Jagat means that which is constantly moving, changing its forms and all those things. And we say, Asatoma Sadgamaya, oh Lord, lead me from the unreal to the real. Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, lead me from the darkness of spiritual ignorance to the light of spiritual knowledge. Mrityorma
Amritam Gamya.
Amritamangamaya, lead me from death to immortality. That is really a prayer that my mind has gone out and has become connected and identified with these things of the outside world. Please disconnect me so that it abides in its own true nature. So it is about disengagement of the mind, and the moment it is freed, it is so happy, bach gaya. But so long it is bound, then it is dancing to the music of the world. It might be a nice music, people dance, it's good, feeling good, but after some time the music changes, then it's not so good. See, so this is the problem when we get caught in the world. How can we voluntarily go out and engage with the world, and at our wish disengage and retreat into ourselves? That would be fantastic, isn't it? And yoga is really about learning that art of going and engaging with the world, but not letting the world control us, not enslave us. So what is Vedanta? What does Vedanta teach you? All this Gita and Upanishad and everything. Swami Vivekananda says very nicely. He says, what does he say? He says, Know the true nature of the world so that the world cannot hurt you. Vedanta teaches us to understand the true nature of the world so that the world cannot hurt us. We get hurt because we think the world is real. And whatever we take to be real, we react to it. For example, at night you had a dream. In the dream, something happened. If something nice happened, you're so happy in your dream, won a lottery and jackpot, and the joy of that in the dream is so nice. Or something not so nice could happen, somebody fell sick or died, or something happened, and the pain you feel in the dream is very painful also. But when you wake up from the dream, and then you compare the waking state with your dream state, and then what do you do? You say in one stroke, oh, that was just a dream. It was not real. And the moment you do that discrimination between the real and the unreal, the pain and the experience falls off. So here is a very important psychological understanding that we can only get caught by something which we consider to be real. Think about that. When our discrimination is not very strong, we are not able to separate the Kshetra and Kshetrajna. When we mistake the unreal for the real, when I'm looking in the desert and seeing an oasis, which is really a mirage, then I'm reacting to that reality. But most of the time you'll find it's not real, it's temporary, it appears and disappears. So when this buddhi, Shakti, the power of spiritual discrimination, that is awakened through japa and meditation, that is your best friend. That is Sri Krishna tells Arjuna, buddham sharanam arvicha. Take refuge in buddhi. Awaken that buddhi. That buddhi is your best friend. Without that buddhi, the mind is a uncontrolled horse. I'll take you for a ride out there. So, and that when that buddhi is awakened through japa and meditation, the mind becomes pure. Then it will be able to discriminate what the permanent from the impermanent, the spiritual from the material, from the pure from the impure, the real from the unreal. And that is how the Purusha is able to disentangle and disconnect. He says, really it is my own nature which is full of bliss, which was being reflected by those things out there. And in my ignorance, I thought those things were giving me happiness. Really, happiness or bliss is my own inner nature. Knowledge is my inner nature. Immortality is my inner nature at the spiritual dimension. And then it just abides in its own true self. The world is constantly trying to teach us, Mother Nature, Prakriti is trying to constantly teach us that the happiness, whatever we are seeking, is not out there. But we are so stupid, not very good students, and not learning so quickly. Again and again we go and make the same mistake, thinking the things of the world will give me joy, want to come back to this world or go to another place where it's full of happiness only, which could be your idea of the heaven. But really there's no permanent peace, permanent joy, eternal life here. Not at the material level, not at the physical level. We already are eternal and immortal as the Atman. So giving up this vain attempt to seek for myself in the external world is the starting point of spirituality and religion. So it's a sort of a spiritual thing. It's not that you will make yourself pure, you'll make yourself immortal, you'll make yourself all that. No, we already are that as a spiritual being here and now. It is in ignorance only that we have become identified with this body-mind complex, and then that's I sense, and then it goes further with and attaches itself with things outside with a my sense, and that is my house, my car, my children, my husband, my wife, my this, this I and mine. I plus mine sense that all of us is equal to Maya. Ami, Amar, A, Maya in Bengali. Ami means I am, Amar means mine. These two form what is called Maya. The stronger the I sense, the more we have the Maya sense, a lot of things are mine because they make me important, make me secure, whatever you want to, whatever the world gives you, the more we are bound in this world of Maya. So, this particular, did somebody want to ask something? I said the voice. Okay, whatever object, moving or non-moving, comes into being, knowing that, know that to be from the association of the field and the knower of the field. And then, of course, we had these two beautiful verses. Samam sarveshu bhuteshu tishtantam parameshwaram vinashyastu avinashyantam yapashyati sapashyati yapashyati sapashyati. He sees, who sees the Supreme Lord as existing equally in all beings. How? As the imperishable among the things perishable. Perishable means impermanent, transitory. Today it's there, tomorrow it goes. Like we say, perishable goods, Apple is a perishable good. You leave it after some time, it rots. So that's why, in the long run, everything in this universe is perishable. Our body is perishable. You see, slowly it's getting perished. Old age sets in, hair becomes gray, skin becomes wrinkled, and this and that. And after some time, one fine day, it just. But behind this is the imperishable, which is our Atman nature. So, but in ignorance, we are trying to make the perishable imperishable, isn't it? We are trying to make the perishable imperishable. We want to keep this body as long as possible, extend its life. After some time, it's beginning to fail. Then we do a kidney transplant, we got a bypass and this and that. And ultimately, with all the best effort, still that does not survive. There's a little nice story. Let me tell the story so you'll understand. Remember the stories. So this guy was there. He built a nice house on top of his hill and was living in there nicely. He was a devotee. And cyclone began to come, and the wind began to pick up, and the house began to shake. So he thought, my God, it might crash down. What to do? Let me pray to God. Yeah, please save my house. So he was a little clever guy also, maybe one bania. So he said, okay, so let me talk. Whom should I pray to? No, this is the wind god. So Varuna. Who is the son of Varuna? Hanumanji is the son of. Let me say. So, oh Lord, this is Hanumanji's house. Hanumanji's house. Please don't break it. Your son lives here and that. The wind did not come down. So he said, that's not working. Then he said, maybe I'll try, let me try Rama. So Lord, this is Rama's house, and Rama is, you're very sincere devotee, Hanumanji is there, it's his house. So, and that it did not. Then he tried this and that, and ultimately the house began to shake so badly, and it was about to crash. At that time, he ran out of the door saying, the devil's own house, So, like this, the jiva, he comes and builds this house of the body. Okay, with a lot of effort, he's feeding, exercising, and everything there. And the wind of some old age or disease begins to come. Then he's praying, praying and praying. He's trying to do this, all that medicine, medication, exercise. And ultimately, when finally this body is about last, then the jiva takes off, thinking, "Chalo salako," like that. That is how the jiva lives. He is not living it very happily. He is basically as forcefully chucked out of here. So that is because of our attachment, and that attachment comes from our ignorance. And the ignorance is that I am this body. But if you constantly contemplate, I am the Atman, I am not the body, and drive that idea through meditation and all those things through sadhana, then when it is come time to give up, you can very easily give up, just like in old age, old clothes you take off. Likewise, more enlightened, even if you don't have a realization, that knowledge will say, okay, this body has served its purpose. Thank you very much. If I have been able to make some spiritual progress in this life, that's been good. I've used it for good purpose. Maybe I'll take another one, another place. Of course, you have all the choices, nowadays, just like, you go and give your old car and get a new car. You have a black one, brown one, white one. Yeah, you can have electric or hybrid. Likewise, you can choose the body you want according to karma, black, brown, white, male, female, hybrid also nowadays available there. So all these options are there, and the jiva keeps on coming and doing this cycle of until he says, I don't need this experience anymore, and he becomes free. So here is a path of discrimination. Vinashyastu avinashyantam, constant alertness, vichara, that everything in this world is perishable. Everything. But behind all this is the imperishable entity, which is the Paramatman, Brahman, Ch13. Alright? That is the Parameshwaram. And that being is present equally, samam. Sarveshu bhuteshu, in all beings, in me, in others. Superficially, we'll see the body, the mind, the personality, and call him this is a Fijian, this is a Maori, and this and that. But really, if you have a spiritual insight, then you'll say, the one who dwells in my own heart dwells in the heart of all beings. The moment you can bring in that underlying idea of the ocean behind the waves, you'll find so many of these negative ideas and everything automatically disappears. So anger, hatred, jealousy, being judgmental, and all those things cannot be there if you are aware of or mindful of the divine behind the forms that are there. The 28th verse is also very nice. Samam pashyanhi sarvatra samavasthitam ishwaram. Same idea. Samam pashyanhi. Some who sees sarvatra everywhere, equally present. Samavasthitam ishwaram. Ishwara, supreme being, resides in the heart of all beings. Then what happens? Such a person does not do any harm to himself. Na hinasti atmana atmanam. That means when I do harm to somebody else, actually I'm doing harm to myself. So that becomes a self-harm. No one wants to do self-harm. That restraining factor is there. Harm means not only physically and doing injury. You might hurt somebody by saying something that's not very nice. You might cheat somebody or whatever you do. All those things can be prevented if we can bring in the idea of the divine, same divine, equally being present in all beings. And what's the result? Tato yati param gatim. Such a person attains the supreme goal. What's the supreme goal? Tad Vishnu paramam padam. That abode of divine Vishnu, supreme abode, what is, which is the Brahman state. Today we are taking up verse 29. Prakriteva chakarmani kriyamanani sarvasa ya pashyati yathatmanam akartaram sa pashyati. Ya pashyati sa pashyati is again and again coming in these couple of verses. That means you have to learn to see things through the eye of spiritual, knowledge, which is this type of studies like facilitate for us. And then hopefully through sadhana, the eye of spiritual experience, Divya Chakshu comes, and then the reality, whatever we are trying to visualize or imagine, understand, becomes a direct experience. Aprokshanubhuti, it is called. There's a beautiful book by Acharya Shankara. It's called Aprokshanubhuti. Very small things, and it's a very meaningful. Anubhuti means experience. Aksha means eyes. Para-aksha means somebody else's eyes. So somebody goes to a particular place, sees something, comes and reports. You read that and you understand that, and then you that understanding is not your own direct experience. It is somebody else's perception, but you have heard from. Aparoksha, when you put a prefix in front of para, that means it is not somebody else's experience. In other way, it is said to be, it is my own direct experience. So all the scriptures, the Upanishads and all those things are parokshanubhuti. Some sage has realized it, and he has been kind enough to come and record it and pass that wisdom to us. And through that, we understand a little bit about the reality which is beyond the senses, beyond the mind, beyond the intellect. But if you just read this and all the commentary forever, and you'll become a good philosopher, and Pandit, but you won't be spiritually. Intellect is helped, not but the spirit. For that, sadhana is necessary. Japa and meditation, those spiritual practices purify our own minds, and then with this pure mind, pure buddhi, the truth is directly experienced. So one should always be very, very mindful that there's a whole lot of difference between the truth that is understood through scriptures and that which is experienced through directly through our own spiritual practices. Just like, you can know about honey by reading the book, and you can know honey in another way by tasting it. Spirituality is about tasting it. So what does it say? This verse, he says, he who sees actions being done in various ways by nature or Prakriti itself, and also the self as the non-agent he sees. So we are constantly engaged in action. Body is engaged in action. Mind is senses, what you call speech. This what you call action of the physical body, action of speech, action of that's happening in our thought process. Wherever any change is there, that is a result of action. So action, let's apply a little bit of science. They say energy. What is energy? What is the equivalent word of energy here in our shastras? In Sankhya philosophy or Vedanta? Energy, power, what's the word?
Consciousness.
No, consciousness is not energy.
Prakriti.
Prakriti?
Prakriti.
No. Prakriti is the whole total, yeah, we can say, but another word, nice one that everyone used. Energy means what? Powerful.
Shakti.
Shakti, yeah. So the whole universe is Prakriti and everything is what is called Shakti. Purusha, Prakriti, Brahman, Shakti. Shakti means energy. So the divine, that entity, that being who is the personified as the sum total of universal energy is called Adhya Shakti, the divine mother. And everything is some small or big proportion of that energy. Energy in physics is a capacity to do work. Okay, it will make change. Some event or something will happen. So all changes in this world is attributed to the divine mother, Shakti, Prakriti. And the Purusha, which is the consciousness, he is only a non-agent. His presence is necessary, but he doesn't really, he's not the doer. Doer is the Shakti. So here, this Kshetra and Kshetrajna, Prakriti and Purusha, that differentiation is brought about. So he who sees actions being done in various ways by nature. Nature means Prakriti. Prakriti is made of how many gunas?
5.
3.
5 gunas. Somebody has produced 2 more gunas.
3 gunas.
3 gunas, Jyoti.
5 gunas.
Where did you go? What are the 5 gunas?
Those 5 senses.
No,
Ear,
that is
nose.
different. No, they
No?
are called Jnana Indriyas. Jnana
Yeah.
Indriyas. Gunas means Sattva,
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 Rajas,
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 and
and Tamasic.
and Tamas. Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. These are the 3 gunas, and the 3 gunas are combined together, and they make what? 3 gunas are differentiation of what? Prakriti. Prakriti is made of 3 gunas, isn't it?
Yeah.
And and of course, so can somebody tell what is some attributes of Sattva?
On the lighter
Sattvic.
note, Swamiji, you are one of Sattvic. So
Light is there. Sattvic means something that is knowledge, kindness, compassion, and all these are sattvic qualities. Devi sampatti and all those type of things. Somebody who's very sattvic is very calm, serene, and all those type of thing. And tamasic,
Easy.
give some example of tamas.
Laziness.
Opposite of Rajas is Tamas.
Somebody will be
Okay.
very lazy.
Anger,
Lazy.
hatred, anger, hatred,
Laziness.
all these.
No. So one is lazy,
Yeah.
procrastination. Another one, darkness, ignorance. It doesn't want to move, Give an example of a tamasic animal.
Donkey.
Buffalo. You've seen a buffalo move? You can't change the speed there, Same speed, it will go at its own speed, like that. Give an example of a rajasic animal who's restless.
Wants to eat.
Huh?
Horse.
Tiger, lion, what?
Yeah, you go to the zoo and you see the lion is moving and
Yeah.
moving, restless. So restlessness is there. So if you see somebody who's restless, who can't keep quiet, something has to do, he can't sit quietly, then too much rajas is there in that person. And somebody is very sattvic, is very calm and quiet. So but the tamasic also is very calm and quiet, isn't it?
Yeah, they're lazy. Yeah.
If you see one tamasic man, two people are sitting down there. One is very calm and quiet because he's meditating. The other one is just too lazy, he's sleeping. So Swami Vivekananda says sometimes in the spiritual life, people mistake tamas for sattva. Okay, the two ends of this spectrum look alike, but they're poles apart. Tamas means inertia, laziness, doesn't want to change. Sattva means perfect balance, calmness, serenity, tranquility, and all those things. All these are the three qualities of the three gunas of the Prakriti. Yeah, and so these three gunas combine and recombine among themselves. Okay, it's not that the sattvic person has got no rajas and no tamas, but in that person, this sattva has become more predominant. In a rajasic person, rajas has become at that time and tamasic person at that time, tamas is. It's not that one is exactly like the 24 hours, like, so in the morning when you get up, okay, after a nice sleep, really feel fresh and all that. So at that time, which guna is more predominant?
Sattvic.
Sattvic, calm, serene, no tension, no worry, everything is. But if you look at the mind of the person at midday, okay, then you see he is running around there, he has to do something, he's just full of energy. So at that time it becomes rajasic. Okay. And when he comes home, he's tired and this and that. He says he sits in the sofa and he just wants to lie down, and then tamas has. And tamas increases a little bit more. Then the eyes are closing and then you go to sleep. Okay. So sometimes people are meditating also. And, instead of sattva, tamas catches hold of them. See? Bas. So then he is there, eyes are closing, he's drooping forward, and suddenly he's in his own world. And after 15-20 minutes, they come out and say, that was so nice. I think I had a good meditation. Oh, what happened? I do not know, but I feel very good about it. So that in very spiritual life, if you are having some type of that type of experience, don't think you had a good meditation. When you have a good meditation, you will be very alert, perfectly alert at the time of meditation. Okay, heightened state of alertness, calm, but mentally very alert. Tamas, I do not know what happened, time passed nicely type of thing. That in the Shastras, that state of sleeping during meditation is called laya. And if you are having that, then you should not make a habit out of it. You should get up, drink some fresh water, wash your eyes, take a walk, breathe in deeply, this and that, try to wake yourself. But if you don't do that, then afterwards meditation, the sleep will habitually come. And then for many people that becomes meditation, they think. So be careful with that. So here in this particular verse, Prakriti, all the Sattva, Rajas and Tamas, right from Lord Brahma to everything that we see in the world, that is attributed to Prakriti. And Purusha, the Supreme Being, pure consciousness, is just present there. It's like the magnet and its iron filings. Magnet is the Purusha, iron filings are pieces of metal, but the iron filings will move in the presence of the magnet. But the movement is in the iron filings. You see the movement there. That's one of the examples that is given in the scriptures to illustrate this point. Yada bhuta prathak bhavam ekastham anupashyati tateva cha vistaram brahma sampadhyate tada. When one realizes that the state of diversity of living beings is rooted in the one, and that the manifestation is also from that one, then one becomes identified with Brahman, the Supreme Being. Yada, when. Anupashyati, one realizes that. What? That all this is but the self. So he gives the example of the wave in the ocean. The ocean is the permanent reality. Waves appear and disappear. We are one wave. Brahma is another wave. An ant is another wave. But they're all waves. Some are big, some are small, depending on the size of what are in there. Likewise, where more power is there, that is a more greater person. Where the power is less, it becomes a lower person. But behind them all, the same ocean is there. Shakti Vishesha, Sri Ramakrishna says. Sometimes people get this mixed up. Oh, God is equal, then we are all equal. No. Same being is present in all of us. Same Atman is, therefore we are all equal. At the spiritual level, we are equal. But in manifestation, the power is more or less depending on our capacity to manifest that power. Let me give another example. In your house, you have got electrical wiring system. You got how much voltage?
240.
240.
240 volt is there. And then you have got different bulbs in the house. Okay, so you got 60 watt, 100 watt, 200 watt, or 25 watt. And you switch on, they all give light. Do they all give the same amount of light?
No.
Different.
No. Do they have the same voltage?
Yes.
So why are they giving different amounts of light?
According to the power of the bulbs.
These are watts in the bulb.
Yeah, according to the capacity of the bulb to manifest that light, isn't it? Likewise, in all of us, the same Atman is present. But the capacity of different people to manifest that power is different. It's called Shakti Vishesha. Vishesha means difference in. And what's the difference? Depending on how much sattvic it is, rajasic or tamasic. A more sattvic person is able to manifest more light. More tamasic, the same voltage is there, but it is not able to manifest that. And therefore, all sadhana is about increasing this element of sattva. And that's where japa and meditation are the real tools. We're using the Shakti of the mantras and purifying the mind and the heart. Purity. So, yada bhuta prathak bhavam ekastham anupashyati. When one realizes that prathak bhavam, that means in the state of diversity of all living beings, bhuta. Bhut doesn't mean ghost, okay? In Sanskrit, in Hindi we say bhut pakad liya hai, or someone possessed by the ghost. Here bhut means any living being. Ekastham, eka sthitam. Ekastham. Sthita means rooted in. That means when you realize that all the waves are established on the one ocean. Many people are not aware of the ocean. They think all these waves are there. But a spiritual person says, I see all this mankind, the plants, animals, everything, but behind them all is that same universal consciousness. That idea of bringing that consciousness behind, being mindful of that consciousness as a substratum or the platform out of which this whole creation has come. That is the secret. So you go around with the eyes open, but remind yourself that behind all these forms is the formless one. Can you hold on to that idea for how long? So when you go to office and you see all the people are there and you said, okay, I read the Bhagavad Gita, Swamiji said, Sri Krishna said, behind all these people is the same divine God. And so long you are holding it, it's nice, and then somebody comes and says something that's so nice and immediately you forget about the God and you react, see. So then you sleep. But the moment you again remind yourself, immediately that anger goes away, I should not say. So this is the practice, constantly reminding ourselves that the form is appearance, but behind that is the formless being. How I can be mindful of that, that formless behind the forms. Yada bhuta prathak bhavam ekastham anupashyati. Anupashyati means I see, realizes that one behind the many, unity behind the diversity, where in their all manifestation, vistaram, tata eva, where all this manifestation has come from that, from the ocean. That means the ocean is reality. There can be the ocean without any waves. Can you have the waves without the ocean? No. Okay. So Brahman can exist at the time of Pralaya, the whole universe and all beings are absorbed. And then just Brahman, pure consciousness there, ocean without any wave. And then by the will of the divine, she projects and all these waves appear and all these universes come. And we are one of those waves, so to say. So what is taught is that being always mindful of that Brahman or the universal consciousness out of which all these forms have come. When one has established oneself in that knowledge and realization, then what happens? Tada Brahma sampadhyate tata. Then that person becomes identified with Brahman. That means you feel you are the ocean now. But you can't be the wave in the ocean at the same time. Or is it possible?
No.
No, eh? So you have to sacrifice this ego, isn't it? I must go. Ego. Ye go. And he says, I don't want to go. See, it comes in so many forms. So this is what Maya is. Maya is this I and mine. So what is the approach to dissolve this ego? Two are there. One is the path of knowledge, which says all these waves are temporary, they come and go, they are all just transitory. The ocean is reality only. Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya. Okay, Jagat means all these waves. This Mithya, they come and go. Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya. That type of discrimination. This world is not the reality, the waves are not the reality. Na iti, neti, until I come to the ocean. That is me. So there is a path of knowledge. That's the hard part. Not many people can practice it. It requires a tremendous amount of willpower and spiritual discipline and everything. The easier path is the path of bhakti. What does he say? I'm a wave, but I have come out of the ocean. Ocean is the supreme being. I'm the devotee. God is the Lord. And I will have a relationship in which he is the numerator and I'm the denominator. So let's write this down. Okay. So this will be interesting. Okay. So mathematics and okay, sir. In an ignorant person, he just says, I'm everything. Okay. And there is nothing beyond that. There's no God, I'm an atheist, like that. When knowledge comes, he said, okay, there is some universal being. He's the universal. Let's make him one. And I will be the devotee below that. I am a subset of it. And he wants to make that I slowly, slower and lower until it becomes zero. Naham, I just totally surrender myself. That means the wave that is there, it wants to merge itself in the ocean. Not I. He doesn't go around, boosting his ego or anything like that. He says, very humble and always surrender to the divine being, that type of approach. As I becomes zero, what's the net result?
Infinity.
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 See? So this is another way to attain infinity. That means the wave becomes smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, and then you can hardly see, and then it disappears. Then what happened, Jyoti?
All is one.
Then suppose you are a wave and you are becoming smaller and smaller and smaller, and then you just simply totally disappear. Then what happened to you?
You become the sea.
Then I become the ocean.
Yes, then you become the ocean. See? Then you become one with God. You become one with Brahman.
Yeah.
Brahma sampadyate tada. Brahman, the word means infinite. It comes from the Sanskrit word brihat. Brihat means vast, limitless, endless. So, see, there's a smart way. You become 000 and then suddenly you become infinite. This is the path of devotion, bhakti. Naham, naham, tuhu, tuhu. Not I, thou, thou, thou. That is the attitude of the devotee. He subjugates his ego, makes his soul humility, service. Perfect example is Mahavira Hanuman, servant of God, a child of God. And God is the divine mother and all, whatever relationship one has. So, does it make sense?
Yeah.
Question time. No questions. Who are there?
You have explained very well.
Is that so? Let me ask some question then.
Swamiji,
Huh?
Swamiji, what does the I feel like as it approaches infinity?
I doesn't feel. How does the I feel like when it approaches infinity? So there is this wave. This I is the little I. Okay. Let's move it up here. That is this one. Maybe this got space here. So this is the wave, and these are the little eyes. Some fellows think they should become a big eye and make them bigger and bigger and bigger. More house, more this, wealthy, this and that. They think that is one way to become big. Other fellow is smarter. He says, I will become less and less and less and less, because his idea is to become immersed in that ocean. So long his eye is there, this eye sense is there, then there's a beautiful verse of this experience explained by Hanumanji. He was a perfect devotee. So it is a beautiful verse. What does it say? Deha buddhya tu daso asmi, jiva buddhya todam shaka, atma buddhya tomeva ham iti me nishchitam mati. This is my highest final nishchit, final conviction. What is that? When I'm aware of myself as the body, then I am the dasa, I am the servant, and you are the master. Okay. Jiva buddhya. When I am thinking I'm a jiva, that I'm an individual, then I feel you are the whole and I am the part. I'm a subset of this. You are the ocean, I'm the wave. Atma buddhya. When I'm established in my Atma nature, then Atma buddhya tvamevaham. Then there's no difference between you and me. We are one. So depends where you are. Looking at from the top, position 1, position 2, and position 3. In position 1, you see you are a body, others are other bodies also. Looking from the surface of the waves. Then you should have a relationship between the divine and yourself as the master and the servant, or the mother and the child. When I'm looking at this level, say level 2, then I see all the waves, but I also see that inside all the waves is the water. That means I see the form of a human being, but I'm aware that in all of them, the same Paramatma is residing. Okay, so we are all parts of the infinite being. And when you are at the level 3, scuba diving, deep in the ocean, then you see water in all direction, then I am one with the infinite ocean, so deep, so vast. That is an example probably to illustrate that.
So
So the
Swamiji,
ego.
Swamiji, with that question, I towards infinity, I mean, is it like samadhi or what? I mean, like to experience that.
Yeah. Yes. Samadhi. In samadhi, the I disappears. It becomes less and less and less. And at some point, there's no I. But that I is now replaced by this I, capital I.
Yeah, I think maybe that's what the previous speaker meant. I mean, when I becomes infinity, it means you're reaching
It
samadhi.
becomes transformed in that I. But when it returns again back to a wave form, then it doesn't forget that experience. Okay. Then he is aware. Then that I am that ocean idea is not lost to him. And in an ordinary ignorant one, he thinks maybe there's no ocean. So there are people there who have got all this beating the drum of I. Apna dholak bajata hai, as they say. And also guys say there's no God, maybe, no? We've just taken a census, maybe 50% people think this, they say we are atheists. We don't believe God exists.
Yeah, at
Such a
our
large
workplace, I mean, I work in an office, I mean, but we have got a lot of people for different races. And sometimes we will talk about praying and everything, and they say, oh no, I don't believe in God. Then I said, what do you believe in? They say, oh, I only believe in human beings. Because I only see them, I know them. So I only believe in human beings. It's okay.
Yeah, so all these things are there. Nowadays, all these things are coming. You can't pray because people will protest, you know. Nowadays, becoming more and more. So it's like those are the waves who don't think there's an ocean. They're waves out of somewhere on their own. That's the height of ignorance. What to do? Yada bhuta prithak bhavam ekastham anupashyati tateva cha vistaram brahma sampadhyate tada. So the idea in these 3-4 verses is that try to see the one behind the many. There's an ocean of consciousness out of which this whole universe and whole beings have come. That ocean of consciousness is the ultimate reality. Everything appears and disappears, right from Lord Brahma to a piece of stone or an ant. These things are transitory, they come and go. Don't attach yourself with them, don't identify yourself with them. Otherwise, one comes to grief when those things disintegrate, when the body goes or people die or this or that, changes are happening all around us all the time. This is Jagat, nothing is permanent. But behind that changeful is the unchanging one. And
Swamiji,
spiritual discipline, yeah. Yes.
so going back to my question, that I-ness becomes oneness, doesn't it?
Yes. Actually, this little I is not the real I. The real I is the capital I. Okay. But we are not having that full experience, so we mistake. So the other example is this one. Like, let me use this one. So there's a sun in the sky, there's a pot of water, and the sun falls, and we see a little reflection. Okay, this is the real I, and this is the reflective I, pratibimba. Okay. That reflected eye doesn't have its own reality, does it? If there's no water in the pot, there's no reflection. If there's no sun in the sky, there's no reflection. It comes together when the sunlight hits the water. So the eye that we feel right now is not the real eye. How is that? We are clinging onto this unreal eye from birth in many, many lifetimes.
The real I is the Atman within.
Again?
The real I is the Atman within.
The real I is this one in the sky. Yeah, Atman, Parama, at the spiritual level. But when I say I am so and so, and say, who are you? This is my name, this is my gender, this is my blah, blah, blah. Then it is not the real I, that is the apparent I. And many people mistake this apparent one for the real one. And that's where problem comes. So if you, every time the ego raises its head, if you knock it on the head and say, hey, you are not the real one, you are the imposter, the real one is deep at the supreme being at my, that is my true nature. Which is what the problem was with Arjuna. He was thinking, I'm a great warrior, fighter, this and that, and if I don't fight, what will happen to this war? Then Sri Krishna comes and corrects him, says, my friend, you are nothing. I am the real I who reside in the core of your heart. I pull the strings and you dance to the music. Don't forget that. Now, you go and do this work, but with that attitude of surrender that you are the denominator and not the numerator. Then you discharge your responsibilities and duties. So that is the teaching of the Bhagavad Gita in very simple terms. Okay.
Yep.
Enough for today. So we have got 4 more verses. Next Thursday, I won't be here. So, and I'm going to Fiji. So I might be able to take a class from there, but probably not. Maybe I should take a break. What do you say?
Yep.
And you should also take 2 weeks break, and then we come and then finish up this chapter. In the meantime, let me conclude this class, and then we'll have a little discussion before we go. Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tatsat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.